Hi everyone, welcome to Linda's Thrifty Life. It is Smile Saturday. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I am going to do this video and then I'll be going over to see my grands for a little bit this afternoon. I'm excited for a socially distanced visit with my face mask on. It is how we still have to do it. My mom is still nervous about social interaction from outside of our two-person household. Since things are opening up, the statistics are showing that COVID-19 infections are on the rise again. So I'll just do the best I can to keep my mom safe. So today's topic for Smile Saturday is books. I've said several times how much I love to read. I do. I always have a book going. And reading is just such a part of me in my life that I can't imagine not reading. And a while back, I was tagged in a questionnaire about books by Merino moms. They are so cute and their little girl's adorable. She just turned 1. She's so cute. I'll leave their link below in case you haven't visited them. They're just a real sweet little couple. And so I thought I'd do that and then talk about books today. So the first question was, when did you start reading for pleasure? I have always read for pleasure, always. Even before I could read, I read for pleasure. My mom says that I love books from, as soon as I would sit and listen to them, which, I've always been read to as a baby. And if you remember, I said that I grew up, my first few years of life, I grew up in my grandparents' house. And my mom's youngest sister was 10 at the time. She was the caboose, the surprise baby at the end of 6. She was the 6th child, the surprise. And so when I was born and she was 10 years old, I was like a big live baby doll to her. And she played with me all the time. And she could read and she would read to me. And I was always carrying books. And apparently I would always ask anybody that came in to read to me. And if they would skip a page because they got tired of reading the books over and over and over, I would know it and I would say, no, you skip, no, go back. That's not the whole story. So my mom said, I've loved books since I could hold a book, So I've always read. I could hardly wait to learn to read. In school, I remember when we started and we would get stars and stuff for reading books, and of course I always read. And children's books and things I read. When I really remember was like maybe middle school, and so that would have been like 6th grade, 7th grade, in there somewhere, that I really discovered using a library at school, because while we as kids went to the library, I don't know, I don't really remember doing that a lot. There were always books in my house. My mom is a reader. And we always had children's books. And I remember liking Nancy Drew a lot. Oh my gosh, Nancy Drew. And I would get a few of those books. I can't even remember what age I was when I started that. But I remember being in middle school and starting to go to the library and be able to check out books and read. And I think from then on, I just have always had a book. That was a very long answer, wasn't it? I got carried away there, as I often do. Sorry. Okay, so what popular book did I dislike? That is easy. The Goldfinch. I paid full price for that book. It was an expensive bestseller book. And know that most of my life I have checked out books from the library. I have never been one to be able to spend, $20, $30 on a book. And one of the reasons I don't buy a lot of books is because usually when I read a book, I read it once and I'm done. One and done, I'm a one and done person usually. So The Goldfinch was so popular and you couldn't get it at the library, and so I broke down and bought it. I struggled. I struggled to read that book, but I had spent so much money on it, I made myself read the whole book, and I just disliked it very much. I found it wordy. I found it wandering. I mean, I thought the storyline could have been interesting, but it was just way, way, way too wordy for me and just bored me. I did not like it. What book should everyone read? You know, I don't really know. Because I don't know that, I don't think there's a, one for all book. I think everyone should read a book. There you go. Find something you're interested in. Even my brother, who didn't like to read, he was dyslexic, and reading was a chore for him. When he got older, he turned to reading those Western novels, and he loved them. He just devoured those. So there's books out there for everybody, and if you give yourself a chance to really enjoy reading, I think you will find something. There's something for everyone. And what genre do I never read? I would say, usually I'd say fantasy, scary. I read a few scary, very seldom. Like, I don't like scary books. I don't read very much scary books. The name of that very famous author just zipped out of my head. But anyway, I don't read scary books very much at all. And what's my favorite book? I've said a few times that I have several, but my favorite book that I usually go to, and it's because it had a big impact on my life, is this book by Francine Rivers, and it's called Redeeming Love. And it's a powerful retelling of the book of Hosea. This classic from Francine Rivers is life-changing story of God's all-powerful love. And I read this book at a time in my life where I'd had a big change in my life. I had been divorced from the father of my children. I was living in a different place than them at the time. Ash was on her own going to college. Sarah was still at her dad's, finishing up high school, and I had moved away. And I was just in a really huge turmoil in my life. And this book just really touched me in ways that have never left me. And I have read this book more than once, and I think now that I've pulled it out, I will be reading it again really soon. If I could have a pint with any author, alive or dead, who would that be and why? Well, first of all, I wouldn't have a pint, but I would have maybe a glass of wine. I don't know. Maybe Francine Rivers, I think she's around 73 now. And I would just love to know, how she wrote this book. And I think that would be interesting. I have met an author, Mary Kay Andrews, who is an Atlanta writer. She writes kind of beach novels, and I met her a couple of times, and it was interesting. Once at a book signing, and once at she's a big not thrift store, but junk shopper, and there's a big junk market in Atlanta, and she likes to go there, and I met up with her once, and we did some shopping. Whatever. Where is the best place to read? Gosh. I read kind of two places especially. I read sitting on my couch or in a chair, real comfy, lean back, or in bed. Of course, I like bed a lot. I'm very comfortable. I like being in bed. I read in bed. I watch TV in bed. I'm very comfortable. A lot of people just only go to bed to sleep, but I like reading in bed too. What is my favorite book character? I would say currently I'm just absolutely in love with this guy, Jack Reacher. I want him to be real, and he is not Tom Cruise. I can tell you that absolutely. And any Jack Reacher fans knows what I'm saying. But he's just an interesting character, and he's been going on a long time, and I'm not sure how much longer Lee Childs will be writing him, but I like him a lot. And what book death hits you the hardest? Gosh. Well, first of all, I'm almost 70, so I've been reading books for 65 of those years. Let's say I started reading at 5. 65 of those years, I've read a lot of books, and a lot of books have made me cry. I remember reading Gone with the Wind for the first time, and I was actually babysitting one evening. The baby had gone to bed. I had put the child to bed, and I was still reading. Parents hadn't come home yet. It was like a next door neighbor, and I was reading it, and I don't know, it was when Rhett said, left her and everything. I actually threw the book across the room. I was so frustrated with trying to get these Rhett Butler and Scarlett O'Hara together. Come on! And I threw the book across the room, and then I jumped up and went over and grabbed it and continued reading. So I remember that being a really, really strong reaction to a book and how much a book could affect you. I think the Racing in the Rain, when Enzo, the dog, dies, I think I sobbed like a baby. And another series that Francine Rivers wrote called Mark of the Lion, and there's 3 books in it. And it's just beautifully told, and it's heart-wrenching, and I remember just sobbing during parts of that. Which book world would you want to live in? I don't know. One of my favorite books and book series is The Hunger Games, and I would not like to live in The Hunger Games. So, nope. Not in ancient times. I don't know. I don't know if I have any particular time. If I wouldn't have been a maid, I would have liked to have lived during like Downton Abbey time if I could have been one of the daughters, but I'd have been the scullery maid. That's just how it is. Which book world would you want to live in? That's what I just said. Okay. And what am I currently reading? I just finished a book, and I'm about to start a new one, and I honestly can't remember. Let me see if I can find the name of it. Mostly I read right now this is my Fire tablet. What am I reading right now? Because I just downloaded it and on my Fire tablet, I download books from the library online. And let me see. It's just not letting me tell it. But anyway, I read books that I download on this from the library, and then my Kindle, I read on my Kindle mostly now. And I love both of these, especially the Kindle is so lightweight. I can just carry it with me anywhere. And Mom and I have Kindle Unlimited, so we get a lot of books free. But I don't know what I'm currently reading right now. About to read something new. And what book has been on my to-be-read list the longest? I don't know. If you're a reader, you always have a huge to-be-read pile. I don't buy as many books as I used to. I used to buy lots of books, thrift store books, and dollar used bookstore paperbacks. When I found those, it was just awesome. And I used to have just tons and tons of books that I would get. And the pile would be higher than I could ever read them. But as I've gotten older and my eyes have, I've gotten a little, it's a little harder to read paperbacks for sure. The print is just really small and the lighting, and I've switched to my Kindle pretty much. I don't buy books too much anymore. So I don't know that I have a book that is on my to be read list that that comes to the top of my brain. So anyway, that's the little questionnaire. But I have this book I wanted to share with you. This is one of the oldest books, or the oldest book that I have that is mine. As a child, I loved ballet. I had other books, but this one is just, it is literally falling apart and been taped together. And I think I'm going to take it and make it into a an altered book and just sort of reinforce the pages and add things to it. I won't destroy all the art and everything in it, because I look at it and it so reminds me of my childhood loving this book. I wanted to be a ballerina, of course. How many little girls didn't want to be a ballerina? I also like, I don't read a lot of nonfiction, but some. But I love, which is nonfiction, but I love reference books. Things like that teach you about antiques or vintage things. And I love, this book is called When Wanderers Cease to Roam, and it's by Vivian Swift. And she is this amazing watercolor artist. And her books, I just love to look at her books and get inspired by her art. It's just really a beautiful, beautiful book. And let's see, where are we at? Oh, 17 minutes. I need to finish up. And then I love any kind of book that's about cats. So I've read a bunch of this. Miss Sheila from Country Girl First gave this to me for my birthday, and I just love it. And look at this. Did you think I was going to play with this? Bless your little deluded heart. That's Annie. She's like, I buy her toys and she looks at them. Really? Yeah. Oh, anyway. So many cute things. Anyway, that would be Annie. She hates her carrier. So anyway, that is my thing about books. So what I'd love for you to do is tell me if you're a reader and if you love to read and what kind of books you like, maybe your favorite book, or if you don't read. A lot of people don't read, which is, you're missing out, but that's my opinion. But if you're interested, I'd love to have all of you put your favorite little books, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick a couple of these cute little bookmarks. These are the little magnetic ones. Look at these glasses, aren't they cute? And this one says, to someone special, thinking of you and wishing you all the best today and always. And I'm going to just pop these in an envelope and send them to you. So if you're interested in telling me what kind of books you like, I would love to know. Thank you all for joining me on Smile Saturday. I hope that you noticed that I have extended my Countdown to 70 birthday challenge. It will now end on June the 20th, which is my 1-year anniversary, and 1-year YouTube anniversary, and I'm so excited. The mail is running really, really slow, and several people have said they're getting ready to send things, and I'm just afraid it might not get here by the 7th. So we'll just extend it to the 20th. So love you all. I'll talk to you soon. I hope you're having a great weekend. And I'm going to see my grands. Bye now.